Hello everybody and welcome to my first modded Minecraft tutorial. I will be touching today on the subject of mob farming, and I will not cover everything and every different type of mob farm. I will just cover the mob farms that I mostly know and mostly use, and all of these sizes are expandable pretty much indefinitely, but you will get to a certain point where it will become too laggy for you to run such a mob farm. So without further ado, let's begin with the first type, which would be the manual mob farm using the wooden spike from extra utilities, which does 1 heart a second until the mob has 0.5 hearts left, so half a heart left. And the mobs would fall down here through any sort of type of mob farm. Basically, they would just drop down in a 1x1 hole and drop down over here. This farm works with all mobs that are not wider than 1 block, so it works with zombie skeletons, wither skeletons, and all that. But yeah, that is basically the thing. But now moving on to automated mob farming. I will firstly show you the mob farm designs, then we'll go look through all of the different killing methods. So the first design is using vector plates with cursed earth underneath, and then using any sort of spike to kill it other than the wooden spike, or a mob masher, or a mob grinder, or basically anything works with this. So the mobs get moved over to the spike, and with this advanced redstone interface, we can just turn off the lamps. And if I have difficulty on easy, we should see mobs spawning, and then they get killed. And this absorption hopper will collect all of the items, put them into here, and collect the liquid and put it into here. We currently don't have the spike that will drop XP, so that won't happen, but it's okay. So next farm, we have mob fans and a mob grinder, and again, it could be a spike or whatever. You could use any, as I said. This one requires a little bit of more finesse here because we need the mob fans to be on and the lamps to turn off. So basically we have this guy controlling the lamps and this guy controlling the fans. So when we turn it off, the lamps turn off, mob start spawning. One thing that I want to touch on, you can see there's a lot of Endermen quite around because they teleport out. We will touch that on in a moment. There's a couple of blocks that can prevent that. So that is how that works. And the last one we have here is no moving of the mobs. We just have a ranged upgrade, range add-on in a mob crusher, which then just kills the mobs as soon as they spawn, pretty much. There we go. They spawn, they die, which is really cool. So this one requires power, and it collects items and also collects mob essence, not XP. But this one collects XP, and we don't have anything in here. Okay, so with the spikes, you can use punji sticks, stone spikes from mob grinding utilities, golden spikes, diamond spikes, and player traps. So I listed all of the rates at how fast they kill, and if you want to look at them, I will just slowly move to the right, like so. You can look at them. I won't go through everything, but basically these 3 in the end will get you XP, and these 2 in the end will get you player drops. Also, the mob masher kills the mobs and gives you XP and also player drops, and is upgradable with all of these upgrades, which are sharpness, looting, smite, bane of arthropods, fire aspect, and beheading. So with this one, you can get 100% drops on mob skulls. So this is perfect for using in a wither skeleton farm if you want that. Then over here we have the mob crusher, which is upgradable with fortune and range. It has a bunch of range add-ons. If we look at range add-on, you can see there's quite a few. So that is really cool. It does mob essence, not XP. So you can convert that through the same mod with a fluid dictionary converter. It does player drops and can do looting, as I said. Then we have the mob grinder from Draconic Evolution. This will instantly kill a wither, just FYI. And it has a 7x7 range. It does require power and drops XP, player drops, but it is not upgradable. Okay, so the next part is the item and XP collection. I think by far the best is an absorption hopper because it has a configurable offset on the range. It has, I believe looks like a 7x7 centered on this, and you can then move it around if you wanted to. So that is really cool. And then you can output the items. If we click on, for example, east, we can output items over there. And for example, on the west, we would output fluids into a tank. So then we have the vacuum hopper, which is from, I believe, open blocks. Yes, and this guy also collects XP and items. It is configured kind of in the same way, but it's slightly worse because I believe it doesn't collect items through blocks. They need to get sucked up by the thing. I believe this collected it, something collected it. Yeah, this guy collected it faster than this did. So yeah. For only collecting items, we have the ranged collector from Actually Additions, which with a unfiltered blacklist will collect anything. Then we have a vacuum chest, which can be upgraded with item filters. So this guy, if you need to collect a lot of specific stuff, is really good. And then we have the accumulator from thermal expansion. We have the item collector from cyclic, which has a configurable range, and it can even show you the area in which it picks up. So there we go, which is also really cool. And it can also be filtered with these, and these I believe is the internal inventory. Then we have the item collector and the advanced item collector. I like these guys because they pick up items instantly, I would say. Yeah, there it goes. And are faster than any other collector. Possibly this absorption hopper is the same speed, but I don't know. Then for only experience, we have the experience pylon, which can bottle directly or can bottle experience bottles. And you can say, yeah, you can also dispense and collect orbs, which is lovely. So over here we have the vacuum XP vacuum, not the vacuum XP. This needs to be activated with a liquid XP bucket to start working, which is kind of a bummer because you would need to collect XP somehow. You need either a player drain and drain it into a tank and then collect a bucket, but I don't know why they don't just enable it by default that is active. It is really weird. Then we have the monolith of experience. This will collect experience in the same chunk it is in, and it will then store it. As you can see, you can right click it and it has a bit of XP, and then you can, I believe, sneak right click, shift right click to take 15 out, something like that, basically. Then we have the insightful condenser, which will also pick up XP and store it as liquid form, I believe. I'm not going to touch on all of the ranges that these guys have because it would be too much, I believe, for the video, but yeah. The next thing I want to explain is how to configure these advanced redstone interfaces. Basically, you can see this turns on the redstone lamp. It is very easy. You just have to craft a position filter, which I believe is a piece of paper and 4 purple dye. And then you can right click it on any sort of block to bind it. And then you just insert it into here, and you can have a total of 9 items, and you can turn it on and off and on and off, and that is lovely. So yeah, I think this is gonna be pretty much it. Also, mobs started spawning over here. As you can see, this is also working. The problem with this is baby skeletons would escape, so I think you would need to do that. Or baby, any sort of mobs would escape. So that is a touch better. But even this works because I was far enough away for mobs to spawn. So yeah. Okay. I think this is it. If you have any sort of questions, if you want to see any sort of other mob farms or any sort of design, let me know down in the comments and I can expand upon this world and add to the tutorial. Actually, I just remember now, I have to show you the Enderman thingy. One of the options is the Ender Tether, which will, I believe, if we look at uses for this, or the recipe, it will prevent Enderman with a certain distance from teleporting away. Any teleportation attempt will warp them to the tether. Also prevents other forms of Ender teleportation. So if you want, you can just stick this either in the middle of the farm, or I normally put it right above the spike, so the Endermen get teleported over here. You could also put it pretty much anywhere you want. So yeah. Why am I? Okay, I'm being moved by the things. That is fine. And there's also other means, but the Ender Tether, I believe, is just the simplest one to do. In here, it's just an unstable Ender Pearl, which is a Wither Dust, which is not that difficult to get. There's also, I believe, an Ender IO way and some other ways, but I will not touch on those as it's not necessary. But yeah. Again, if you have any questions, let me know down in the comments and I will touch on it in the next video. And if you want to see more tutorials on different things, let me know what you would want to see made a tutorial from. Like I can do ore doubling, how to set up an AE system, many different things. So if you have anything you want to see, be sure to let me know because it will help me out to see what to make next, basically. And I rambled enough. So thank you again, and I will see you all in the next video. Have a great one. Bye-bye.